All right, we're live. Welcome, everybody. Excuse me. Let's see, we're going to share this here. And cool. So I'm going to come back here with you guys. Put a little comment here. Hopefully I can see the comments here live. Sometimes I don't get the comments live and I still don't know why, but we're going with the flow. I wanted to come here for just this, I say a short period or a short time, and it's never as short as maybe I may think, but in any case, we're going with the flow. I do have about an hour or so, and wanted to also extend the invitation for anybody that would like to join us in today's LightBody. It's going to be like a LightBody meditation, meditative clearing, light support, as we are continuing to go through so very much body-wise. This will not end. Technically, this will only increase because our bodies have reached a level of consciousness that is now supporting us in clearing all the heaviness, all the heavy duty stuff, programming, beliefs, emotions, thoughts, at a level that we never really have before. And this is one of the reasons why the body is feeling so much, and not just emotionally, but physically too. And one of the biggest things to keep in mind, or keep yourself remembering, is that your body is not just a physical body, right? You have an energetic body that entails the mind, your mental body, and your emotions, your emotional body, along other energetic bodies, but we'll keep it to those two. And so right now, our emotional body and our mental body are going through a clearing process, a cleansing process, a liberation process that is being felt very physically. And so you will go through physical sensations, physical, very tangible stuff, and yet your physical body is not affected. Your physical body is going through, or actually your physical body is still functioning well, even though you may be feeling a little bit off, or a little bit weird, or a little bit out of it. Maybe there's discomfort. There will be discomfort. There will be pain. There will be all of these different things to open up to. And yet, while you're feeling them, and they might seem like it's physically obstructing or physically doing something quote unquote unhealthy, your physical body is actually not being affected by it. You're just feeling your emotional body, you're feeling your mental body in a way that we never have before. And our linear mind gets very scared. Our linear mind gets very caught up in, oh my God, what's going on? Right? And so it's important to continually open up to our light. And the light body is the activation. It's actually your soul body, Your soul is starting to come more online inside of your physical body. And so you're going to start to feel a lot. The different aches throughout the body are very normal. The lack is going to be also normal. Lack of, for instance, lack of oxygen, or you feel very dizzy. A lack of instability because you feel you don't feel, well, that actually comes with dizziness too. Emotional stuff too. It might feel like you're emotionally unstable, but you are becoming much more stable by feeling everything that you have not been wanting to, or you have not been, you haven't been at some level able to feel for whatever reason. So we're going through a lot. You're not alone. There are more and more and more people feeling these things. And it's huge. It's a very powerful phase that we're all going through, because this is reaching mass level. This is reaching the collectives that aren't even quite fully awake or aware or in their spiritual awakening path consciously. This is hitting everyone at some level. And so this will continually be a part of what opens up more collective awakenings and mass awakenings. It's going to be through the body. And it's powerful, because a lot of us didn't come, like a lot of us didn't awaken quite that way. We went through awakening in other ways. But like I always say, things are shifting and things are changing, and things will continue to shift and change in ways we can't even imagine right now. So again, I'd like to invite you and extend that invitation. I will be coming back. I do have an event, a link event, where you'll be able to read more. You'll find the Zoom link there. And again, it's just an opportunity for us to allow our bodies to receive a little bit more support. Hi Louise, welcome. Which is definitely needed now more than ever, because of everything that's happening, because so much is activating within the physical body. There will always be so much that is happening within us that we don't fully understand, that's a little bit scary, that's a little bit overwhelming. And now it's time to open ourselves up so that we can come together, so that we can support one another more, so that we can receive more support. Create more of this supportive space, no matter where you are. In order for us to receive the physical support that we need, everything must come through energetically, right? Energy will always come first. Energy will always be the root of everything. And so the more you energetically feel supported, feel loved, feel all that you are, the more physical support will come through for you in ways that you didn't you couldn't have imagined, in ways that you didn't even know you needed. And that also comes through trusting that your light is always going to come through for you, trusting that your light body is here to support you, trusting that everything right now, we're going through such a, we're breaking out of the old in so many powerful ways that we're finally going to live an experience that fully supports us. There was a song that came through, and that's so vague right now that I'm like, did it even happen? Was it a dream? About just, living your dreams now, and living in the magic, and living in the support. And this is what's happening right now. Everything is opening up for us. Everything is like breaking, which means it's opening up. Our worlds are opening up. Our experiences are opening up right now, so that our world becomes much more supportive, much more magical, and less of what it once was. So every person on this planet has the opportunity right now to live in a different world than anyone else. Every single one of us is going through a lot of choice points right now. Right, the fork in the road is opening up in so many different ways for every single one of us, that is allowing us to choose and decide, what do we actually want to experience as a soul, not as an ego. Because as an ego, we'll always choose the old, we will always choose the trauma, we will always choose the fear, we will always choose suffering. Okay? As light, we get to choose something different. As light, we get to choose our peace, we get to choose our love, we get to choose the joy, we get to choose the fun stuff, like the pure fun, not the distortion of fun. Because distortion of fun is no fun at all. The energy of pure fun and pure play and pure joy is who we are. So we're starting to choose more of ourselves and more of who we are and more of what we came here to experience. Like, we did not come here to repeat endlessly the old cycles. We did not come here to perpetuate the suffering. We came here to end it. But it's all about ending it from inside of you, because that is how it was, that's how it's been created. That's how it is created. So this is always going to be about you, about your personal journey, about what you're choosing, about what you are still holding inside of you at a level you don't even know, and you don't even realize, and you don't even believe it. There's so many things inside of us that we don't believe. And the biggest thing is to open yourself up, open up your mind to, it doesn't matter whether you believe in it or not. Can I open myself just a little bit to this? Can I just feel a little bit into this? No matter how crazy it seems, no matter how scared I might be of it, can I just open up a little bit and start asking, what if? What if this is real? What if this is true? What if I really do have this? What if I'm still carrying this? What if? Just start opening up to what ifs. What ifs. And then you'll start to open up to where. Where am I holding on to this? Where am I believing this? Because your whole body is what holds your thoughts, your beliefs, your mentalities, your programming, all of the belief systems. It's all inside of you. It's all inside of us. And so, again, what's happening right now is your light body is supporting you, and it's supporting me in bringing all of these things up to the surface, so that we're no longer unconsciously operating from a level of consciousness that destroys our light. We are now moving away from that because that time has ended. We don't have to continue to live that. We don't have to continue to experiment with the lower levels of consciousness, our ego consciousness, because we already created everything at some level that we needed to create and we needed to experience. Collectively, as a whole, like, it's done. We've already done it. Now it's time to shift out of that mentality and out of those frequencies, so that we can bring everything back to balance and everything back to purity and everything back to light. Like, it's almost like there is an expiration date to our 3D form. Can't continue forever. And everything right now that's happening worldwide, solar level, through the sun, through the cosmos, everything right now is supporting that expiration date. So we've reached an expiration date collectively where we said, that's it, right? Like, enough is enough. We're done with the old. We're ready to break out. And we're going through this phase where now it's time to clean house. Right now it's time to clean up our mess. Now it's time to clear the physical body, or allow the physical body to clear itself, so that we can start to bring forth a completely different experience. Right? Welcome, Pamela. If you're still here. So, many of us are reaching deeper levels of that expiration date, where the ego is no longer in control as it once was, and yet we still have to continually go and dive deeper and deeper and deeper. And one of the biggest things to do that, or one of the biggest things that supports us in that, is the constant, continual connection to your body. Your body will always be key. Your body has the information that you need, and the information that is needed to further support you in this process. And it will always be like that. One of the reasons why we programmed 3D to keep us so separated from our bodies, separated from our emotions and our thoughts, is because we knew that that was key. We knew that that was the gateway to our heaven. We knew that that was the path that would connect us deeper to our soul, which is why we did everything in the 3D world to keep us from connecting to the body, connecting to our emotions. And so just bringing this up for awareness purposes, just bringing this up for you to open up and feel, just bringing you into, or continually reminding you to deepen your connection to your body. You can do this right here, right now with me, just taking a deep, light breath. Expanding every part of you, every muscle, every bone, every organ. So that more and more and more and more light comes through you. And it's a constant practice, and it's a constant connection point. It's constant. Again, technically this will never end. You will never, this journey will never end, because there's so many connection points there's so many points to reconnect to. There's so much. Our body is just it's so huge and it's so massive. There's so much to our bodies. There's so many cells that make up our entire physical form, and every cell is a universe within itself. So that just tells us just how massive this is. Super huge, super massive. The levels of expansion held within, the dimensions held within the physical body are endless. Again, that's why this is an endless journey. This will always be an endless process. The biggest thing is that now we're opening up and waking up to the body. One of the reasons why the body is becoming or going through so many shifts and changes is because this is part of what wakes you up to focusing on your body. This is your body's way of saying, hey, you need to look at me now. You need to feel me now. There's no running around the bush anymore. You can't live continually suppressing me and hiding from me. It's so interesting how we've hid within our physical body in a way to, or with the intention of hiding from it. So it's quite comical, to think about that, but just opening yourself up to your body. And every time that I open myself up, and even recently, it's like the level of disconnect that I myself had, the level of unconsciousness that I had with my physical body was huge. And at some level, it's still pretty huge. And just becoming aware of that and just becoming more conscious of that actually shifts things and opens me up to the experiences that my body still needs to have. And there's a lot of linear programming that gets in the way. There's a lot of judgment about what we think we need and what we think we don't. And just allowing yourself to open up to the physical experiences that we may think are 3D, that we may think are, part of the old, that we may think, and I'm not talking about physical traumas and physical violence. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about other physical experiences that you have chosen to have in order to further your expansion. There's still a lot of misperceptions about that, and there's a lot of misperceptions that I also had as well, which is why I'm bringing it up, about what we came here to experience and what we did not. And so your body will always be the clue, or it will always hold clues for us. It has so much information stored inside about what we still have to experience and what we still have to go through, that in a way that is not going to be from the lower levels of consciousness. We have the opportunity to have experiences that we may think are 3D, but they don't need to be created from that level of consciousness. So we can still choose to, whatever, have this job, or, have a family, or whatever the case, or have this, live in this location, or whatever the case may be, but from a higher level of consciousness, which means it doesn't matter what you do. It matters more who is actually doing this. Is this your ego separation aspect that's doing it, or is this your higher self that is doing and choosing this, right? Did that make sense? So again, a lot of things that are coming through, a lot of things that are going to, a lot of new realities are going to continually be created that we may have not quite, that we weren't quite aware of. We didn't quite, when we talk about reality, I'm going to throw this out there. We get caught up in living here or living there, as building conscious communities, or small communities and whatnot, and yet there's many of us that still are meant to live within the communities we're living first, and live from a higher level of consciousness where we are right now. Your level of consciousness is not dependent on where you live or who you're with. It's all inside, it's coming from inside of you. It shouldn't be affected by what's around you. Right? So your body has the capacity to hold a higher level of consciousness where you are right now. And what supports that, or what will allow us to achieve that, is how much we are continuing to allow the light body to do and go through whatever it needs to go through in order to clear the lower levels of consciousness held within the physical body. And as we continue to allow that, and as that clears, more light comes through, more light activates within the physical body, and the more light you have inside, the higher the consciousness you'll be able to hold. Okay? We are meant to achieve a certain level of consciousness exactly where you are right now, with who you are, with what you have. Through your expansion of consciousness is how everything else changes. This is how your environment changes. This is how your reality changes. This is how your whole world and immediate world shifts and changes. It's not backwards. This is always going to come from you. And your body will always and forever play the most important role in all of this, because your body is what holds your level of consciousness. And so everything that's happening right now, everything that you're feeling right now, is supporting you in some way. All you have to do is allow yourself to feel more things, for more energy to be released, for more of your thoughts and emotions to come out, so that your light body is not fighting you through this process, or fighting your ego through this process. And yet we still have to continually become aware of when that happens, because your linear mind, your ego aspect, will at some level always exist. It's always going to be a part of this existence as long as you are in a form other than your soul essence, if that makes sense. So again, just opening up to that, just continue to become aware of your body in a very generic form of like, oh, okay, I'm feeling this, I'm sensing this, there's pressure here, headache, whatever, the dizziness, and just becoming present with all that you're feeling right now, instead of attaching all of these different labels, instead of going back to the fear of, oh my God, what's wrong? What's happening? What do I do to stop this? You don't want to stop anything anymore. You want to surrender to what's happening to your light body, because that way your light body is able to take over and is able to do everything that it needs to do in an easier way. So just allowing, you can write things down, you can keep a journal, and then start opening up to asking questions. One of the things that we're doing in the energy reading course that I am hosting right now, that I will continue probably to host next month, if any of you guys are interested, is opening up to connecting and asking questions to our body, so that we can become more conscious of what's going on, what's happening right now, what do I need to do to further support my body. And these are things that we've never really truly asked. These are things that we weren't taught. It's very normal. 3D just doesn't teach that. But now it's about letting go of everything we knew and everything we taught ourselves and everything we allowed, and coming back to this much open space that allows us to have more contact with our body, deeper communication with our bodies, and start to really know what our bodies are still holding, and what's happening with the body in a way that supports us. Your light body will always come through and share information that supports us, not scares us. If an information comes through that's a little scary, that you're like, ugh, it's more likely coming from your ego aspect. Okay? And the biggest thing is to be with it, right? Like really start to open up to that little voice that is still very fearful, very scared, very angry, whatever the case may be, and really start to feel the information that is coming through from this aspect, because there's always going to be an emotion attached to this aspect, which is one of the energies that keeps it alive and keeps us in fear and keeps us in that fight or flight survival mode, right? So connecting to every part of you, the light and the dark, connecting to the higher self and the ego self, connecting to every dualistic aspect inside of you, because they both need our attention, right? They both need us to be present with it. Yes, if that makes sense. Welcome, Adrian. Welcome. If you're still here. If anyone has shared like comments, I don't see them, and I do apologize if you have commented or have shared. I don't know why. Sometimes when I do these lives, I just don't see the comments. I'm gonna have to go through the other. Once I'm done, I'll probably go into. I'll check and see if there were any comments. I do apologize for any comments that came through that I'm not seeing live. So yeah, just allowing yourself to remember that both aspects of yourself are always going to be a huge key to go into and to open up to, because they hold an enormous amount of information that liberates us. It's never always going to be, just higher self, and the light. It's going to be both. It's going to be ego, looking at the ego, feeling the darkness, feeling all of these lower dense frequencies, because they also hold a lot of information, and they also hold a lot of keys that break us out of those energies, right? So again, there's lots of things happening. There's lots of things at the physical level that we are continuing to sense and continuing to feel, to just open up to. Everything, there's more than one explanation for everything. There's more than one reason for everything. There is so many different purposes for everything that you're experiencing right now and everything that you are feeling right now, to just open up to. You're definitely not alone. Every person is going through a lot of similar things, which supports us in not feeling alone, and it bridges that gap of separation also within one another. While there will be things that some of us may be feeling that most of us are not, everyone will experience those things at their own time, when they're ready. And so if you are feeling something that it's not really talked about, you don't hear a lot of people feeling this or going through it, you may be one of the very few people that have chosen to feel those things first, which will then get you, it's almost like some of us, well, all of us chose to go through very specific things first to prepare us and support others when more people are going through those experiences. So for some reason, you're choosing to experience these things first before most people. And every single person will have that same experience. And so the more that you open up and allow yourself to get a little more comfortable with what you're experiencing right now, the more you're going to be able to support all those people that are going to go through that same experience when they're ready to. So just keeping that, also in your perception and in your memory bank, so that you're not freaking out about you being the only one, or why you might be the only one that is going through XYZ. So with that, just wanted to share that. I wanted to come here just to bring some light. Again, if you are guided to join us, we'll be going a little bit deeper in a meditative state, and I will be, you also be able to share whatever you're going through, or whatever body part that you feel you may need a little bit more support in. So again, for those that are guided to, we will see you there. The event that I put in the description has all the information. And so with that, sending you much love, and we'll see you next time.